Okay, so let me try and fix this because this keeps falling and it's super annoying. And um, a quick like energy update. I feel like it's still kind of the same as yesterday. Feeling like this is like a standstill. Um, Not really shoring. Oh my gosh, not really sure of which way um to go here because I feel something is going to happen. I can feel it. Like, it's kind of scary. It's kind of not. My shoe fell off twice today after I was like, oh yeah, just waiting for the shoe to drop. Like, I had flip flops on and I was working. I was like, literally twice. So I'm like, oh shit, waiting on that shoe to drop, you know? Also, with what I just kind of, as I was shuffling the cards, um, what I'm being guided to talk about today is the divine feminine, because it had me kind of confused, and I was like kind of talking about it, like reflecting it with my spiritual team. I'm just like, did I say the right thing? Like, is it really the feminine in the feminine body? Like, I was right about that. So they are talking about an actual female, like us divine feminines in female physical body. Okay. um it has a lot to do, everything going on right now has a lot to do with us trying to rewrite history. Okay. There were situations that took place in the past, some of which were, the main one was around the time of Lemuria. Okay, so I am very familiar with Lemuria. It just says creating heaven on earth. It's happening. So there was, okay, I always make sure I can say what I can say. I don't know. So there was mistakes that had happened and took place back in the past. There was influence on humanity. And I actually wrote about this. It was like, it just came to me because after I had done a couple meditations, like, and I actually specifically did one for Lemuria, and I was going to the temple, and like I received all these symbols, like I was there around a bed of like crystals, like it was fucking insane. I actually wrote about that too. I should probably start sharing actually what I write down of what happened, like after I do stuff. I definitely will, but this is just gonna be briefly. But like when I was there, I had the experience of me, but I actually came from somewhere else. And I came down and I was in this temple. And I'm not like, see, I don't like to like talk about myself all like in a way where it looks like, but which I was shocked to. I was like, oh, and this is before I found out what I know now. Okay, so this just kind of made sense. But apparently I was like, you like me, and like, I was a goddess, but I was from the stars, right? That's all. But it never told me when, where. This was like last year, so I didn't even think anything of it. I'm like, what? A goddess from the stars, like, and I chose to stay here in Lemuria and help people. And I like was, oh, there was this temple, like it was just like, and it was me. And then like I was laying in this bed of like, I felt like it was crystals or something, but all these symbols came through because I was trying to do a clearing of Lemuria time period for me. Um, then there was that. So I was like, what is that? Even, you know. So I honestly did not understand it. Um, so that's crazy that like a year later, like here we are. And then when I finally got like my divine blueprint 2 or 3 weeks, it was probably 2 weeks ago now. 2 weeks? I'll go like get a look in my, okay, actually, you know what? Fuck it. Because this is one of my new ones. November 23rd, 22, 4:27 a.m. I just got finished a non-guided meditation on my divine blueprint, connected yet again. And that was the day that I found out that I was Lyrian. You know what, let's just call it this. I say Lyran, or it could be Lyran. I haven't really delved much deeper into that yet, so this is still kind of new for me. But because I like, honestly, that, you know, I had a connection with the Pleiades and obviously all these other, you know, time periods, but it was like, and it makes sense to, oh, there's just so much that makes sense. But anyway, so that is kind of what is replaying out now. There's more to it though, you know, with the two snakes. So I feel like it's a time period definitely about Lemuria, but I also feel like I kind of put a connection together with the Draconians and Greek time, you know, ancient Greece time period, which too led about, you know, how Zeus, they were on this island and that, I don't know, see that, because there was like 1,600 descent humans, but they were like more like not mortal, they were like immortal, I don't know, they were like, it was 1,600 of them were put there, made from like from the gods, okay, and they were put on this island, and they were like the children of the gods, right? So I'm pretty sure I read something about it was 1,600 of them. The island, okay? Let's just put it this way. It goes back to, as far as like when Jesus, that's what we're bringing in the Christ consciousness again, like that time period as well, the Adam and Eve thing. What do you think, you know, who tempted Eve, right? It was a snake. And it was like, you know, trying to get her to eat from the apple from the tree of knowledge, okay? In my opinion, the snake is a reptilian, obviously. I truly believe that they were reptilians, okay, who was giving them knowledge, yeah, and helping them. But I also believe that there's a story of the interference because of other jealous beings, okay? And I do believe that these, I don't think it was just Adam and Eve. I think there were more. And I think those ones that were there were perfect in their creation, and there was this like true love and the whole, I don't know if that's where the whole twin flame concept is coming from, but I do believe that they each were tricked, and they I'm gonna sound crazy, but they do. I mean, I know you should see what I put together. So I actually wrote down step by step. It was like, this is it. Like, this makes more sense to me than anything else possible, because I know. Because, okay, backtrack. We'll stop right there. With the 1,600, the Adam and Eve thing, whatever. Pause. Okay? Because I myself had my first past and only past life regression I ever did was a few years ago. I wanted to do it my whole life, but anyways, I think it was in 2020, 2019 or 2020. I think it was in 2020. No, 2019, the end of 2019. I'd have to go back to my calendar and look, but I'm pretty sure it was around like August of like 2019, because it was like right at the end. Then 2020 came, the whole shutdown. And then I was just straight like whatever. I had never meditated a day in my life up until the past life regression. After that, it was boom. It sparked my whole this side of my journey. The others was just, you know, me going through my own phases, and, you know, obviously always being who I am and feeling different and all that stuff and blah blah. I told you a little bit about that. But okay, when I finally got my past life regression done, I just had this feeling. And I asked her, I said, have you ever had anyone that can't get to it? Because I always felt like I wasn't allowed to know. Like, what? Because why? Why didn't I go sooner? You know, it was just like I didn't push it. I didn't. That's how my lifespan. Like, I always just, I don't know, man. I just knew. I knew. Like, it's like, oh, it wasn't. It's not meant to be. It's in the right time. Anyway, it finally happened, and I was like, she's like, well, like I had like one person that it took a little longer to get, but you know, I'm like, oh, I just have this weird feeling. It's like, I don't know, you know. So it did. It took a while. I didn't know what to expect. Like I was instantly what I saw was just it was dark, and then there was just purple all around me, and like just black, and I don't know. I felt like a void, right? Again, not a day of meditation in my life. It was just like that's all I saw was blacks and purples, and just I didn't know where I was. Well, all of a sudden, um, I started getting images. There was three specific images that I saw. There was a guy with a dog, mountains, backs like a picture like mountains, and then there was something else. I have it recorded, but anyways, so then I was like, yes, not getting anything. Like I'm just laying, like so like we took a break for a minute. So all right, let's try it again. Relax. Okay, so I was like, all right, you know, I didn't know the fuck to do. So all of a sudden, boom. Well, the second time we did, I started feeling something. I started feeling like just swaying, just back and forth. Then all of a sudden, it's like a fucking screen just opened up in my head, and I physically saw like it looked like a movie reel, like a fucking projector, and it was just playing this one scene over and over again, and I'm just swaying. And she's asking me questions, and it just felt like, and all of a sudden I saw like I don't even know how to explain it. It looked like someone running across a battlefield, but there was like a flag or some kind of thing. But then there was like, but to me, it reminded me of like a Braveheart scene, like for real. Like there was horses there or something, and um, coming down, and then boom, I felt myself fall back, okay, and land on the ground, and it was like someone was on top of me, like felt like they were choking me or something, okay. But then the scene flipped, which I didn't understand until after either. But like the whole scene just flipped, and then it went into my death instantly. Like, but it wasn't the same scene. Like, it wasn't that battlefield. It wasn't that. So it made no sense to me at that time. Then I was like in the house. Like I felt like I was on a bed or something, or I was in like a house, and I was murdered. Like I was almost convulsing and shaking, I had tears streaming down my face because I was feeling it all over again. And it made sense to me because I guess in my, right at, like a little bit before after my daughter was born, and I think it was after, I had her when I was like, I think 29. So I guess in my 30s, something triggered. I guess maybe that's around the time that like I died in a past life. But um, I would have these reoccurring nightmares um, of me. And I'm not even talking like nightmares, like this shit was replaying. I woke up and I was laying back and I shot out of bed and I went, because it was like happening. I was standing there and it's like this body was feeling what was going on in the okay, and then I saw and felt I was being impaled by a long, like I don't even, I couldn't tell you if it was like a sword arrow, like so, but it went right through my heart. I felt everything. I felt it was, and I was in my body this lifetime, and I was like, I couldn't breathe. My daughter's father, when we were together, like I said, she was a baby. She would like be in between us. He like shot up out of bed. He was like, because he could hear me. Like I was in so much pain, and like you know, and he was like freaking out. And then finally, when I snapped out of it, it was like I just went back. I was like, oh my god, like what the fuck? And I was like, oh my God, that hurt so bad. So that was before the actual reincarnation. And I was like, wow, that makes sense. Because, like, I always believe that, like, wherever you were murdered at, you might have some issues or whatever, or like past, like, trauma type things. So it made sense because this part, I always used to have like a really bad, like, hunchback type of thing because I would always have pain right here. And then I would have like heart palpitations, like at night, like, or right before I go to bed, I would always go and breathe like that. It was just really weird. But that's around my 30s, it started happening. Now, I've always slept like this since I was a child. I had my arms in the air. I would wake up to myself like that, like sleeping on the bed, and I wake up and my fucking arms were here. Like, my mom's seen it, my family members have all seen it. It was, and that didn't stop and for a long time, like maybe my late 20s. But I always wake up and like randomly my arms would just be in the air. And then the death scene, and then the stabbing, and the I was murdered. So now fast forward to, I was like, holy shit, like I was fucking stabbed in the heart. Like, yo, bro, like I felt everything. It was crazy. But then, so when the reincarnation thing happened, I could tell I was a man in that lifetime. Um, at least the first one, with like when I fell backwards or whatever. I'm not really sure if I was still when the scene got flipped, if I was a guy, but I think I was a man in that lifetime. I would say maybe both, because they were like war ones, like they were like a battle for the one. And then the second one was, whatever. So, but I knew I was damn sure a man. I knew it. I didn't know what I looked like, but I could feel it that I was not a female. I was a man in that life, those lifetimes, whatever. Well, then I was told by another lady who I went and got some Reiki done on because, we wanted to figure out, I had two things requested. And I didn't go into much detail about anything of what I knew, but I knew something happened to me when I was 14. I was like, I don't know if it was a past life or this lifetime. So I asked about that. And, just anything that they wanted to bring up. Well, sure enough, she saw me in somewhere in Asia. I was wearing like a hooded thing and like one of those masks that like to like from back in the day, like one of the warriors that like would have like the almost like a devil like thing to like scare the other things. And it's funny because instantly I knew, I was like, oh my God, like my cat's name was Samurai. I used to love sword fighting. I loved, like, I always wanted a horse. Like, I love horses, so I feel like that makes sense to me. And she said, yeah, she saw me in that time period, so in Asia. And I think that's where, I know when I looked it up, samurais, because I started getting into Buddhism, and the goalies, I liked, like, I don't want to be disrespectful to any culture, but if like Chinese symbols or Japanese symbols are obviously different, but just like those kinds of symbols and like Buddhism and stuff, and like that was one of the first things, the second thing that I had like found that I really was like, oh wow. And it made sense because like when I was younger, I used to have like again, like those kinds of symbols in my room, and like so it made sense. I was like, oh shit. Oh shit, I was a samurai. Now it makes sense. But like even me and my daughter, like we have fake foam swords and we like to sword fight. I go hard too. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, you know what I mean? But so that made sense to me. I was like, oh shit. And then my cat, like his name was Samurai. We called him Sam, obviously for short, but I used to call him Lam Lam. And I had him since 1999. He died a couple years ago. He's one of the cats that had passed away a couple years ago. He was like my best friend. He was like 15 or 16 years old. I had him forever, Anyway, anywho. Okay, so back to the point. So, oh shit. Okay, so I am being told that I feel like with the influence. Okay, so obviously, like, I've had all these like war scenes, right? Like in my mind, and like all just this. Then found out the whole connection with Lemuria, right? And then I had wrote what I had thought really happened when it came to the divine masculine and feminine and this whole twin flame concept. Because for a while, like I went through a phase and I thought I had found mine, but then I went through a phase where it's like, oh shit, like I don't know anymore. Just some personal things I really want to go into it, but I was more focused on finding myself, and I truly felt like me getting sucked into all of that, like, oh, this whole twin flame thing, because that just happened to, I didn't even know anything about it until and then it was like everywhere. I was like, oh, well, maybe they just used that as a way to get people like us to start, sucking us in that way, and like being like, oh, that way we can start to our soul mission, our divine purpose, right? Like our mission. Um, because honestly, I do believe it was the best thing for me, and I never regretted it for a minute for feeling like this person was, and um, it was worth the heartbreak that I felt. That's how I really feel. Because, and I never, to this day, I still don't, you know, whatever. But that heartbreak that I felt, I never felt like that with anyone. It like broke me right open, and for that I will forever be grateful for it, because there's no ill will there either. Like, I wouldn't have chose to go through that with anyone else. So obviously I chose for that for a reason. But I needed that heartbreak to be able to be where I am now, 3 years later, like 2.5, 3 years, something like that. Because that really, everything from that point, once I saw what I saw in my reincarnation, then boom, after that, it's just the meditations daily, like, the gratitude journals, the really like, okay, the shadow work that I put into, like, so I'm saying, like, and again, like, pretty much being alone for the entire time, which is normal for me. But so when I tell you, like, I'm not somebody that did not put in the work, and I truly believe that everybody that is where they are in their journey, like, you're gonna know when someone's been genuine with the shadow work, and if someone's like really in it, because like nowadays, man, there's so many like fake spiritualists out there just wanting to worry about making money, who aren't putting in the work. And I don't care, like, that's their journey, that's all good, but like, I just wanted to make a note of that for anyone who's listening, because like, I'm telling you, I put in the work daily out. This is all I think about. And um yeah, so that I did a lot of healing. I mean, the first couple of months I meditated, I got that, even the first few times, like, I would cry like a baby. All that shit that came out. And I like practice, I went and I like do Reiki now, and like, I'd love to be able to help more people, because like, I'm just realizing how much, the chakra centers are really important to clear out, and things like that. I don't know. But anyway, so back to the whole message. Holy shit. So it's only 23 minutes. It feels like I've been talking for an hour. Weird. Okay. So yeah. So what I think happened was that there was, okay, so the snake. I really do believe it was a reptilian. I don't give a shit what anyone says. I don't fucking care. Okay, this is my view. And if you, agree, that's cool. And if not, oh well. But yeah, so I do believe it was like reptilian, beings. And I do believe that the tree of knowledge, right, that was the information that they were giving them. I think at one point, because obviously not all reptilians are bad. Okay, I think there were some that maybe wanted to help, but then I think, just like any type of civilization, you got the other side of them that wants to influence in a bad way, because everybody has their own agenda. Every being has their own agenda. Every person or being has their own agenda. So I do believe that that was the information that they were giving the woman and the men. And I do believe that they got jealous. They wanted the women to be theirs, and they wanted the men to get out of the picture. And I truly believe that, because, so I think they were getting in the Eve, we'll just call her Eve. I think it was the women, the women. I think there was more than just one. I really do. I really do. I don't give a shit, because there's no way that, no, I just believe that there were more. And then when I read something about 1600 on this, in this area, the island, whatever, okay, there was there was more than one. I truly believe that. I feel it. I think they tricked the women, and I'm going to say women, not just Eve, the women into thinking things about the man. Because I think their love started out, each of them's love was so pure. And I believe that these other beings were so jealous and they tried to separate the men and the women and target them against each other. And I think there was lies told. Um, and, you know, wars broke out for it and they were separated. I do believe they were taken, whether they were taken underground or to the fucking another planet or to the moon. The men, I think the men were taken. And I think that then, you know, cross the feminine. I don't know, something, there's more. And I wrote this down because at one point, you know, all these, us divine feminines at first, I think, blame the masculine, right? Like, oh, we're doing all this work and why are they the ones running away? Well, if you think about it too, Eve was the one, Eve, the women, they made a mistake too. And it wasn't on purpose. It was due to the influence. So I think the balancing, I think that's why us this lifetime, the women in the bodies and the divine feminines in the physical female bodies, I think have had to suffer so much more in a way, as far as like going through certain things, or, you know, having to, I don't even know, wait or go through that initial heartbreak first. I don't fucking know. But I think it's because we're trying to balance out what previously happened. And it's not like these men that are, you know, maybe they're not awake yet, or some of them are, or they're starting to. And I think that's why a lot of it fell on the divine feminine to have to carry all that load because of the mistakes. Again, not on purpose, because of the influence, even though it's not what the divine feminine's intentions were, of course not, you know. But I think that's why this time around, it's like we're having to pick up more of the load in a sense to get the divine masculines in the male bodies to wake the fuck up, to start waking up, because they need the softness. They need to awaken the softness and the divine feminine in them, just as we had to more awaken the masculine in us. And again, if you're a physical woman. So, I don't know. And I think once, that's why their message really is, through all this shit, is basically saying, instead of worrying so much on the when, like I did for 3 fucking years, 2.5, 3, like what, and then it's just like, you put your hands up at some point, and then you gotta take responsibility for it, because again, everyone's on this journey. It might take some longer, it might take some shorter, but once you really put it all down and let it the fuck go, let it go, and just start worrying about the balance and in your own self and the unity within your own feminine and masculine energies, I think it's when you get to a point where you're going to even see any results at all. Because it should not be about something outside of somebody else anyway. It always should be us coming home to, sorry, my cat just opened the door and I was like, what the fuck? Because nobody is here and nobody should be in my motherfucking house. But that's a whole nother story for another day. Hi, right? But yeah, anyway, so nobody, I don't believe that, you know, anyone can fully, like, I feel like what we're really coming home to is our own soul, and trying to balance that and come into union with us and who we truly are as a soul. But I also believe, yes, that there is somebody out there that energetically can match us, to where it may become this twin flame thing. I just don't know about that, you know what I mean? Anymore. I lost a little faith in it, but not fully. Like, I do believe, like I said, that there will be a match for me energetically, and I do believe in true love, and I do believe that there's somebody worth waiting for until they can meet me at my level. Like, I'm just done allowing somebody a man to give me less than what I deserve. And that was a huge lesson I needed to learn. And again, like, I'm just glad for the experience. I'm so glad I went through all this shit, because the way I feel today is empowered, strong, confident, you know, really loving who I am, and knowing that, like, I'm okay. You know, the love I have for myself, and being my own best friend, and being able to laugh and just I'll be chilling, you know, and that's the best gift that really I could give myself, or the divine could give me, in my opinion. And then, yeah, true love after that would be amazing, but I'm just never ever going to settle for anything less than. So it's exciting, you know. And it was one of the cards at the end, because I had asked, it was, I don't know if you can see, but home. It's like, okay. And then when these three came out, the Council of Light, Divine Orchestration, Helpers in the Subtle Realms, Pleiades, Double Mission, Channeling and Uplifting Humanity, and then Lemuria, the Creating Heaven on Earth. It's happening. Yeah, it's happening now. We're trying to balance out the mistakes that were made from these other time periods, because if we're going to raise, you know, or try to help raise Gaia's, you know, consciousness, like, things need to be cleared out of this planet. And the more that all of us step up and step, even in our daily lives, man, like, it doesn't fucking matter. You're doing so much just by staying in a good mindset. And then you're doing so much good for yourself. Like, who gives a shit about everybody else? If you're happy, you wake up every day happy, and you work on you, you mind your business, you know, you stand strong in your own power. And that, just you being you on a daily basis and keeping things light and fun, you're helping energetically with the planet. So it doesn't matter necessarily all the time if you're actually, if you can donate money or time or this or that, or, oh, we gotta do this for everybody. No, it's not what the fuck. You're not a goddamn octopus with fucking 8 goddamn tentacles, okay? You're not supposed to be everywhere, but you come first, because you have to live with you on a daily. And what you're sending out there is just as equally important. And you know what? Who gives a shit? Nobody needs to see what you do behind closed doors, or how you act. You're not here to prove shit to nobody but yourself and the divine and your own mission. And just, you know, I think you all get it, but that goes unnoticed. I feel like how important it is for each individual, because individually, if we're taking care of ourselves daily, look, okay, 1, 2, 3, think about it, 1, 2, 3, because if we're all standing strong individually every day, it's not about, you know, it's the energies being sent out. So the more pillars of light that we are, and the more beacons of light that keep coming, it is helping every single day. So that's why the daily practice with it is so important. And yeah, I'm totally probably gonna end it out with, again, oh my god, I always shuffle all my damn cards, and I barely get to use them, because I guess that's what I do channel telepathically more than anything. And they did, like, the things that come to me, like I said, I don't even sometimes remember, like, yeah, it's me, but it's also, like, just when they want me to say something, it'll be said, and then I'll just be like, what the hell, like, what? It's weird, I can't explain it. But okay. Yeah, okay, so, okay, we'll do this, test some of these. Relax the hold of darkness and be at cause. See what I'm saying? Relax the hold of darkness. Oh my god, look! And it's a beacon of light. I was like, remember I was talking about the beacon of light? Like, we're all little beacons. Yo, see, stop playing with me. See, I told you. That's what they do. They like to, what the fuck? Because sometimes I don't even know. Shit, that's exactly, like, oh my god. See, and then, like, the image, I was like, the little, like, beacons of light. Yo, shut up, this is crazy. Oh god, spirals of manifestation. Alright, let's just see how many little these. Crazy. Oh, and it happened again. See, I knew I should have fucking listened. Yeah, okay, so spirals of manifestation. Oh shit, that's why they. Oh shit. Okay, look, because look, spirals of manifestation and the beacon of light. Yo, because remember, everything you're constantly thinking about, feeling, like making sure you're taking care of yourself, because you got to stay that beacon of light, because what you're thinking and feeling and what you're doing on a regular daily basis is important, because it's spiraling, it's manifesting, it's energy. So yeah, yep. And that's why they had me say that. Confirmation. Okay. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. All right, and I guess I'm just gonna say, follow your own rhythm, dancing, having fun, being you, just going with the flow. You know. And I'll do one more of these. All right. All right. So then we have in the world, not of the world. In the world, not of the world. Well, that's probably my tribe and anyone who's watching this, because definitely not from here. So, yeah, cool. All right, and then, yo, I got a shout out to my dragons, dude. I'll be loving all my dragon friends. So I love this deck, and I'm going to pull from it because I'm obsessed. Oh, and look, see, it already came out. Cool. Green gold dragon from Sirius. I don't see some. I'm the worst speller and the worst pronouncers. Probably some of the easiest shit. I don't care. Brings universal knowledge to your spiritual pathway. Learn about spiritual technology. Be a transmitter of sacred knowledge. Again, with the beacon. Beep, beep, beep. Be a beacon of sacred knowledge. That's awesome. And I'm gonna get one more, and then I'm gonna read them, because I love dragons, and they are so amazing. They're amazing beings. I don't like calling creatures. I don't like calling any being a creature. They're a being to me. And then we have Aaron Water Dragon. Helps you to connect to higher frequencies. Trust your intuition. Develop your psychic abilities. Be open to enlightenment. Express your inner song. All right, cool. Heavy on the greens and yellows. Oh, there's my fire dragon. I called on him this morning. I was like, man, can you just burn this shit up? It's funny. He's like, hey, what's up? I'm here, bitch. Fire dragon burns up the lower energies around you. You are safe and protected. Be determined and inspired. Clear your soul pathway. Okay, so I'm gonna read these two because I love them so much. It might take me a second, because like the one thing I don't like about that, I like numbers on cards, please, because like I don't got all fucking day to go through the book, and no offense, but it's just like shit, you know, and now I gotta sit here and look for it. All right, I guess we'll try to start with, yeah, it's like that's one thing. I'm just like, come on, dude, really, can we just have some numbers on there so I can just not do all this? Okay. No, it's not it. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Okay, Air and Water Dragon. Fourth dimensional blue and green. Air and water dragons pour light into our third eye to assist our psychic and spiritual development. They help to dissolve our veils of illusion and enable us to see from a higher perspective. At the same time, they bring us inspiration and higher aspirations. They remind us to trust our intuition even when logic demands another course of action. Oh, again, see, we were talking about that like, in another video. Add air to water and you create bubbles and sparkling waters. Air and water dragons bring lightness and something special to our life. When they soar and shimmer around us, a sense of happiness and hope lights up within us. They enable us to connect with our inner song and start to express it. Yeah. Choosing this card calls on you to use your intuition as well as your spiritual knowledge and wisdom to see everything from an illuminated... Wait, what? No. Illumined... What? The... ILLUMINED. Illumined perspective. Air and water dragons will then surround you and enable your life to flow. They will attune you so that your voice express the true notes of your soul. I love that. All right, and then the other one, green gold dragon from Sirius. Green gold dragon. Oh, here we go. Thank you. That was easier. Okay. I gotta turn this alarm off.